Good morning to day 40, big 40. We've got a new manager on site today, Colin, who I met yesterday for a couple of hours. Hopefully he should help us get some structure on site. Obviously we've had plenty of water, so it's about trying to assess how that water has affected the weekend and what we've got to try and resolve before we can start. So we're getting water out of holes and stuff like that, so I need to get some sponges because apparently they sponge the water out of all the holes and stuff like that, so I need to do that straight away. Henry, the 14-ton roller man, is here already. He's probably been here since 7, it's now 10:02, so I'm sure he's watching the clock. So so far it's looking like we're going to have a little bit of a slow start. 8 o'clock, 10 past, no guys normally start turning up. They laid about 4 courses of blocks down this weekend, so we've got some courses up. Still plenty to do, obviously. We'll get set up and check back in shortly. Okay, so we're draining the water out of the pits by digging a hole and letting the water go into like a little sump, and then using the actual pump itself to get the water out. So that's obviously quite important to do that. Sweeping all the water into the hole, pumping it out. That will get that dried. We're using the mile we've got over on the other side just to physically get into the driveway here to try and improve obviously the height and the gradient obviously going down, just so that everything can get in and out a bit better. Mixers going, which means that we're laying blocks. So we have quite a few guys at the moment. 1, 2, 3 laying blocks and 2 labourers. Tyson's looking absolutely soaked already, bless him. That's what happens when you drink a can of Monster and then get stuck in at work. Shout out to you, Mr. Hughes, you know what that's like. Bobcat Man obviously is doing the driveway. One of the other senior guys is in the pit just making sure that all the smocks are in, because I would assume that some form of concrete's coming today to get into here, because they need to get this poured. Henry's obviously done a little bit today, which is a bit disappointing because of the water he's not been able to roll. So it's a bloody expensive machine to have sitting around not doing a great deal. So he's doing a little bit of maintenance. As soon as they pump that, then he's getting straight onto the surfaces themselves. Other than that, at the moment, it's coming together. Obviously rebar guys, they're over there making loads of rebar for the floors, the footings, etc. So that's technically where we are so far. So 9:30, so I'll check in a bit later on. Okay, much of a muchness this morning. It's now nearly 3 o'clock. More miles turned up to go into the driveway, so that's now being done as we speak. And the big roller is going to land up going over that. The rear wall is now taking a bit more shape. Also trimmed over there as well, getting ready for that. So that's all been removed. So all of this here is going to land up being trimmed back, fence taken down. And again, that's going to land up being dug out, ready for footings. Similar to here, they're just trying to get rid of all these bits that are falling in. The smocks, you've got to try and make sure that's 3 inches underneath there, so everything's got to be swept out, cleaned out and finished off. So, and that will end up being the actual main front brick wall of the house. So it'd be good to get that sort of taking a bit of shape, that's for sure. We've had a couple of sinkholes over there where the columns were when we pulled up. They seem to be quite deeper than I initially remember them being, so I hope that's not sinkholes. Maybe it's just where they pulled the footings up. But again, we're going to have to get those pre-prepared again. Yeah, so concrete potentially could be coming this afternoon for in here, but anyway, it's a little bit late for that. I would have thought it might be tomorrow now, so we need to obviously do over the road as well. And that, the other thing we wanted to try and do was obviously move the container, but we've not managed to get a company to come out as yet, so we've got one that might be coming out this afternoon, so fingers crossed we can get that done and get that moved. Other than that, it's pretty much as is from this morning, really, just a little bit further on.